Well, hey there, Bill Shirk, the man about the woods from the TV show Minnesota Bound, with the official Saturday afternoon update on Harmon, our little baby eaglet from the Minnesota Bound webcam. And a little bit of good news and a little bit of bad news to report this afternoon. Just got off the phone with Dr. Julia Ponder, who's in charge over there at the Raptor Center, and they've been looking after Harmon. We actually got some great photos today from those folks. I'll show you in just a second here. But first, I guess, the good news. When they went in to check Harmon this morning, he's actually in a little better shape than they thought he might be. You know, he's suffering from a lot of bruising from flipping around up there in the nest when he was stuck a little bit. And Dr. Ponder says there are also some small puncture wounds, probably caused by a few of the branches when he was stuck and flipping around up there in the nest. And the nasty sort of thing about the whole deal, but it's part of nature, there are a lot of bird droppings up there in the nest. You might remember the volunteer climber Jim Musell talking about maggots, picking some of the maggots off of Harmon when he was up there. The doctor's kind of worried. Maggots can be tough on open wounds on birds. They can do a lot of damage in a quick amount of time, so they're kind of keeping tabs on Harmon to see how that goes over the next 24 hours. Okay, now some of the photos from the Raptor Center. This first one here is just a great little shot of the doctors checking over Harmon, making sure his wings are in good shape and making sure that he's up to speed there. In the second one, kind of an interesting shot here. As you can see, he's pretty tired. They took this at the end of the day after Harmon went through that whole ordeal. You can see he's pretty wiped out. They say some of that actually might be some depression because he was removed from the nest and just went through all the stress yesterday. And then the last shot is really, really the interesting one. He's getting a little bit of nutrition there. That's good news. The tough thing about it, you can see the camera is taking the shot through a window. They don't want people or cameras really in close to the bird because they're worried about the imprinting, that he might falsely get attached to something. They really want him to get back to the nest as soon as possible and see mom and dad. And that's where we run into a little bit of bad news. Really, the folks at the Raptor Center don't have all the answers right now. They're a little bit like us. They are really shooting for that 48-hour period to try and get Harmon back to the nest. And they don't know if they're going to be able to pull that off or not. What happens is they say after 48 hours, the chances that mom and dad will abandon the baby eagle really jumps up after that 48-hour period. At this point, I can't tell you that he's going back on Sunday. Doctors don't know it. At this point, I'd say it's pretty doubtful. And so we're going to have to see really what happens there. The next 24 hours, pretty key to Harmon here to see what happens with his recovery. We're hoping to get you an update sometime after lunch on Sunday with the latest. We may even get an opportunity to go in and see the little guy and see how he's doing. So we'll keep you posted. Before I go, I want to thank a few of our key partners here. Of course, Mark over at Broadband, who's helped making the live feeds happen. Without him, none of this would have been seen, so we really appreciate that. Of course, Dr. Julia Ponder and the rest of the crew over at the Raptor Center doing a phenomenal job of looking after this little guy. Like they say, donations, if you feel like you want to give a little money to help out, they're more than happy to take that. A lot of their budget comes from the donated money. Of course, our friends at the Department of Natural Resources here in Minnesota who helped us get permits quickly to get this thing bang, bang, bang going. And of course, all of you who are watching, Dr. Julia Ponder said it was a huge help today that people were able to report that mom and dad are still around the nest, actually in the nest at points today. That's one of the big keys here. They have not left Harmon yet. So we'll keep you updated on Harmon. Yes, we are all cheering for you.